back in action for another great season of racing. The Outlaws Sim Series hosts the Bay State Limousine Speed Weeks with the Duels at Daytona. Two 75-milers round here is the perfect first taste for these drivers to get familiar with each other and these pristine racing machines that are the next generation of NASCAR stock cars. Good evening all and welcome to the virtual Daytona Beach, Florida. Devin Zimmerman joins me on the call, and Devin, it's great to be back here in the booth calling these races. And our special treat is a first look of the 7th generation NASCAR Cup vehicles. How about it?
Sir, it feels like only yesterday we were ending the season on an epic last lap battle for the championship between Greg Holt and Seth Berger, and here we are again to start the Outlaws Speed Weeks here at Daytona. It cannot be more exciting. It is going to be a magnificent duel between all of these drivers to figure out not only this track but this brand new car.
Absolutely, and we had a little bit of a taste of this car and these drivers getting to know one another last week in the Clash. We will recap that here in a moment, but it is nighttime here at the World Center of Racing, Devin. A beautiful, beautiful 2.5-mile racing facility out in front of our eyes. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. The Daytona International Speedway, 2.5-mile tri-oval, 31 degrees of banking in the corners, 18 degrees of banking in the tri-oval.
Yeah, exactly, and it's, you know, the 2.5 miles. We got the fastest lap ever here, 210 miles an hour, set by Bill Elliott back in 1987 in the Ford Thunderbird. The NASCAR NXS qualifying here, Tommy Houston there in the 87 Buick, set it at 194 miles an hour, and then the truck qualifying there was set by Spencer Gallagher in 2015 in the Chevrolet and 190 miles an hour. Yeah, Daytona plays host to many races. We just saw the 24 Hours of Daytona, both here on the sim and in real life. An epic battle that was for the entire 24 hours, especially in the Daytona prototype class. But yeah, all types of racing come here to pretty much what we call the center of racing here in the United States, Daytona International Speedway.
Absolutely. And while we're here, again, the World Center Racing Daytona, we got a lot of Daytona. We know about Daytona. We don't know much about this next-gen car. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. And that, a beautiful little promo Andrew Carnelli IV put together there of the next gen vehicle taken to the high banks here at Daytona. What a great time. The World Center of Racing, a brand new Cup vehicle. Next Gen is the name, is the big name of the vehicle and everything. It really is a whole different generation. We are shifting from NASCAR as we know it into a whole new kind of motorsport. I mean, they wanted to transform the whole thing. First of all, we put a fifth gear in this bad boy. There's single lugs on the wheels. There's rear view cameras that I don't know if iRacing's going to implement in the near future, but that's what the drivers are using in real life. It's something else, Devin.
So another thing that a lot of fans will notice, the numbers are pushed forward. They're no longer directly under the window net on the left-hand side of the car. They are pushed forward, and that allows for the sponsors kind of to have a lot more room to play around with. Personally, I really like the numbers pushed forward. It gives that extra room to really make sponsors pop and really display the sponsors and work them into the detailing on the car. Something I like about the next gen car. Also, drafting in this next gen car is amazing. We saw it in real life at the testing that the real life guys did here about a month ago. You get humongous runs in this car. The way that the aerodynamics work, you can just get big runs, and those big runs can translate into big wrecks. I mean, that's what we're kind of wondering to see here. I know that the Clash was last week, Emerson. We didn't televise it, but go ahead and fill us in on what happened during that race.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was something. We were not able to cover that race, but what I was able to do is I was able to sit there with race control, sit there with Joshua Balliot, our race controller this season, full-time race controller, by the way. So all the calls, they should be consistent along, with what he decides throughout the season and all. And first of all, I got a look of the process of race control. I did a little bit in the preseason, but for Outlaws, it has changed so much. So I kind of have a better understanding of the rules as well, just from sitting there and kind of, watching over race control and all that. But it was quite the race. We saw a lot of these drivers kind of struggle with the balance of these cars, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run through. I got about 3 key moments from the Clash. We're gonna roll them right here. And how about it? So right here, this is the lap number 7 coming to the end. Lap number 7, starting lap number 8. This is the big one. This is where Greg Holt loses control, and they're in the middle of the pack, makes contact with John Mickey, and a huge wreck ensues. I mean, we're looking at about 15 cars got involved in this one. Many cars junked for the rest of this event. Other drivers tried to get out there. Then we had this accident at the lap number 22. Joseph Causey was trying to push his teammate Jason Miz. He got a little loose off of turn 2, hit in the max service, and a few other cars got involved there, notably right there, Brad Bothwell at the end of the wreck. And the final lap of this race, this was something else. 12 cars all packed up, and right at the front of the pack, the leaders go around. A little bit of net code caused that one. Jeremiah Stutzman from 12th position finds his way through the wreckage and gets to the front, putters his way to the start-finish line. Jeremiah Stutzman, that was something else. From the last car in that lead pack to the win.
Yeah, I mean, you just see these guys, you get such big runs being the 3rd, 4th car in a line that you kind of either have to check up, or you're going to end up, taking the run and go outside or inside of the person in front of you. And then, if that guy's not expecting it, if the guy on the outside, you make it 3 wide, for instance, doesn't expect it, you can end up having a pretty big wreck like that. Kind of what we saw in the Greg Holt wreck. He went to the middle, and it just kind of the door shut on him there. Nobody was really expecting them to be 3 wide at that point, and that ended up causing that big wreck. We've also heard that these cars are really loose. The rear end is very free. And what that means is that when they're coming off of the turn, the car has a little bit too much power and wants to spin the car around. That's what we saw in the Seth Berger last lap incident. You saw Seth on the outside lane just kind of by himself just lose it. And got the car loose and just lost the rear and spun down into the cars below him, and that started that chain of a wreck. So very, very different settings and very different way you have to race here in these cars, especially, coming off of the turns in a pack. It's not like the old car where we're going to see, single file racing for most of the race, and then guys try to make something happen in the end. This car, you can make it happen. You can make it happen early.
Right on. I do want to apologize now to everybody who was waiting so patiently on the Outlaws Sim Series YouTube channel. They're just coming in right now. My apologies. There's something that just misfired there, but we are all good to go. What you did miss, unfortunately, was a little bit of a recap of the clash. But mainly the objective, or I guess the overwhelming statement from the clash, was there was a lot of loose race cars off of turns 2 and 4. And there was a big wreck at the end of the race where the 12th place car, Jeremiah Stutzman, entered turn 3, and he came off of turn 4 as the race winner. We're here tonight with the NextGen vehicles, our first broadcast of the season for the Outlaws Sim Series, getting ready to tackle the Daytona Duels. And tonight, there's a lot to be said about tonight, and I guess first, we should mention that this is the second race of this 3-race stretch of the Daytona. Last week at the Clash, this week the first broadcast of Speed Weeks, but the Duels, the second part of Speed Weeks, and next week the season opener, the 150 lap race at Daytona next week, which is what the Duels tonight will set the starting order for. But Speed Weeks are brought to you by Bay State Limousine. Don't drink and drive. Call Bay State. I know their website said something about buses. They no longer do buses, just sedans and limousines. But if you go ahead and book a ride with Bay State Limousine, you will save $50 off of a night if you mention that Outlaws sent you. So how about a great deal there? Out in if you're up in Massachusetts or in the area, if you need a ride, go ahead and call up Bay State. Say that Outlaws sent you, and get yourself a little bit cheaper of a night there. But with that being said, we're here at the Daytona Duels. There's a lot that's going into tonight, or into the season, really. We're introducing a charter system to kind of keep track a little bit more of the drivers who will kind of start these races this season, because there's so many. I think we clocked in at 59 drivers registered, either full-time or part-time, but registered for the season. So there's a lot of names. With that being said, Adam Gardner took it upon him, said, okay, we got to, send out some charters here to at least put some sort of stability on these starting fields. And that means a lot's going in for the Daytona starting order. So tonight, we will see single car qualifying about 11 minutes time. We will see single car qualifying. The results of that single car qualifying, the top 2 drivers will lock in to the race on next Wednesday. The top 2 times in qualifying will lock into the race next Wednesday. From then on, 30 chartered vehicles, which we all have all set. The 30 chartered vehicles that set a time, or at least every chartered vehicle that sets a lap time tonight, will be locked into the show next Wednesday. Then, the top 2 non-chartered vehicles in times. So again, we'll go through it and we will explain it. We have a whole list of drivers, and we'll explain to you who's chartered, who's not. But then the top 2 times that are of drivers that are not chartered vehicles will lock into the race. Then we go dual racing. The hope is, and how it should look, is that there should be 6 spots open in the duel. So that means 3 spots up for grabs in each duel. We'll see how it all works out. We'll go through all the chartered lists. We'll make sure that that's the case. But that's how this night is all set up. We will have a lot of people locking in from the qualifying times, and then the dual races, which will be 2 30-lap races tonight. So you get twice the racing action tonight for 30 laps apiece, 60 laps total racing. The 2 dual races should get 3 more people locked in per race, and that's a lot to take in. We'll walk you through it all night. That's why we're here, and we're gonna have a great little night tonight here, Devin, setting the field for next week's season opener.
Yeah, this charter system just puts a new fold of you have to race your way in, and it makes qualifying a lot more interesting, where these guys are really going to have to put their best foot forward. Try to be the fastest 2 non-charter vehicles, and if not, then you got to go out and you got to get it done in the duel, which is going to be treacherous. Watching practice right now, just taking a look at the cars, how they're reacting on the track, and again, it's the same as it was when we mentioned it. Big runs by the third or fourth car in the line. These cars, again, brand new car, brand new aerodynamic package. You can get massive runs being the third or fourth car in line, and guys are taking it, and sometimes the spot's not there. So we'll have to see how these duels go. It would be, if the Clash was any indication, it's going to be an excitement, fun-filled event here. Maybe not for some of these drivers, of course, but definitely for the fans and for us, we're going to have plenty to talk about.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and take it down to the track now, kind of clue you in on what's going on in practice. You've had enough of what's going on out around the track, but here we go to the track. We find Joseph Causey, Greg Holt, teammates, of course, working together with one another. No surprise here, but this is different because the draft parameters of these cars were updated 2 weeks ago on the iRacing platform, and these drivers they do need to get up to grips with it. It's not the same animal that we dealt with the Generation 6 Cup vehicle. Looking around the field, trying to see who else is out here. Looks like joining the field, but not on track yet. We'll have a couple of open vehicles confirmed. We'll have Nate Aldrich. Some of you might know Adrian Schumacher, a Final Four driver from Season 1. Actually, I believe he is chartered. So that one's intriguing. But a few more involved in... It should be a great night. Let's see if we can find a little bit of a pack going on out about the speedway. Oh, we have Jonathan Jennings here working for Andrew St. Coeur on the back straightaway. You've seen a lot of two-car tangos kind of work their way around, two-car tandems. Is that kind of because of the way iRacing kind of updated these cars? Is that kind of allowing it easier just for like two cars to kind of work with one another? Or is it just everybody kind of getting spread out in these packs?
You can do a two-car tandem draft here. It is a viable option. And the reason being is that you can really tuck the nose of all these cars up under each other. You can see a huge run there by the 12 car, pushing around the other car and then getting to the outside. And then you see they're really fighting these cars in the turns. You really have to drive this car. It's not going to be sitting pretty where you just kind of hold the wheels steady the whole time through. No, you have to drive it. And that's something that, the drivers really like. They really like that you have to drive the car. It's not just going to go, zoom around the track around a super speedway. You have to drive it, even on the super speedway. But yeah, the two-car tandem draft is back. However, you can get lined up, as you see these 5 cars right here, and really pull away if you have more than 3 cars. So if you get about a 6-car pack, you can, if you stay nose to tail long enough, you can start to open up a nice little gap to the guys behind you if you tuck in. And another good thing about this car is that it bump drafts extremely well. The bumpers on these cars from all the makes and models line up very, very well. You can bump and pretty much push the guy all the way down the backstretch, even through the turns. The car's very stable being bumped through the turns. So you could see that happen quite a bit. You can see Seth Berger right there, right on the back of Max Service. In front of him, actually, he takes a look down to the inside. I guess they're just practicing there. But it did look like Seth was pushing Max all the way through that first turn. And, you can do that. And also, as the third car in line, you can bump the second car in line and give pretty much like a 3-car tandem draft around this track. You see Markle there bumping Max through the turn. And it's a lot easier to do in these cards. But, yeah, it's going to be fun to watch this, to watch these guys tackle this brand new car.
Absolutely. I wanted to get a word of a couple of drivers, and mainly tonight I want to focus on drivers who are not locked into the show tonight. And first comes to mind is a part-time driver, declared part-time driver this season, driver of the number 66, Joshua Land Fogg. Josh, you're coming into this race, and are you declared for part-time this season? Obviously, everybody wants to make the big season opener race next Wednesday night at Daytona. What is your plan to make the show tonight for next week's race?
I mean, the way that these cars are handling right now, it's really loose off of 2, and I'm just going to try to stay out of trouble and hopefully avoid the big wrecks and come out with a good finish.
Fair enough, and that does, I mean, these things do pack up really well compared to the Generation 6 vehicles, and maybe even pack up a little bit better than the trucks last season. What are you kind of learning tonight in this big, big pack of cars you're now kind of engulfed in right now? That's gonna kind of teach you a little bit heading into tonight's 30 lap duels.
I'm not really sure what I haven't really learned anything really because I've only ran these cars at Daytona and Talladega so far. But I've noticed how loose they are and how difficult they are to control. And I mean, I see everyone's loose right now. But yeah, jerk the wheel back and forth. Make sure you don't spin out. Throttle control. And yeah, I really have no answer for that one, honestly.
Fair enough. The pack race ability is going to make this a really, really fun night. Oh, no! A little bit of contact there for your teammate, Setzer. Oh, no. Well,
That's exactly what I want to avoid right there.
Well, that took a sharp turn. No pun intended. Okay. Well, you coming tonight? I know you declared part-time this season, but here you're at Daytona. We saw you kind of slowly work your way up and up the result order last season. You're looking to try to continue that this season with your part-time results. How well, or I guess, how good do you feel about yourself coming into this season?
I definitely feel a lot more confident than I was last season at the beginning. Of course, I was new last season for the most part. I mean, the setups that we have normally are pretty good every week. Basically, just learning from my mistakes, and that's how I get up front later on in the last season. Staying out of trouble, throttle control, saving tires. It's all a learning process to me. I'm still learning today, and but I think these cars are fun, and I hope I do good in them. That's what I hope.
Fair enough. Well, Josh, we're going to leave you to it here. About 100 seconds left in practice. Any shout-outs you want to give here before we get going?
Yeah, shout out to Dark Horse Racing and everybody here racing with us tonight, and everybody watching, and everybody who runs the show here at Outlaws.
Right on. And that is driver of the number 66, Joshua Fox. And a great start coming into tonight, Devin. I want to give you a driver. How about this driver? A driver who's always really aggressive at these plate tracks, but isn't charted at this moment in the season. So they're going to have to race their way into the show. Driver of number 33, James Gilliard. Devin?
All right, we'll get James Giller into the booth now. See what he's thinking about. Hey, James, this is Devin in the booth. Do you have a copy? Hey, I can hear you. Hey, you're not charted this season. That 33 machine though, it been real fast at times last season in the trucks, and then it just never kind of fell your way. But we're tackling a brand new car this season. How are you feeling?
I guess I'm a little confused. I thought whoever raced the fully last season got chartered, but it doesn't change. Trying to go out here and win a race and secure my spot, I guess.
Hey, that's always the attitude I had. Go out there and just win. So, I mean, it's talking about last season, things again didn't go your way in the truck. However, there was a lot of speed in that 33 truck, especially towards the end of the season. Knowing that you had that much speed and that your setup making was going a lot better towards the end of the season, how do you think that's going to fare coming in here with this brand new car?
I feel like it's a clean slate. We're starting over. All that truck stuff is out the window. I don't think much of it applies. No track bars. It's just different. I'm learning how to adjust these cars still, and it's going to be a learning process.
Yeah, definitely understand that. I know qualifying is getting underway, so we're not going to keep you too much longer. But I do want to get your expectations for the season. Coming into Daytona, to the Duels here, a full 36 race season. How are you feeling about your chances this season?
It's hit or miss most times. When I'm doing good, I get caught up in a wreck or miss pit road. So I guess you just got to tie up all the loose ends and we should be fine. I think the speed's there. No problem.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Go out there, get the job done. If you're the fastest qualifier, you're already locked in, so you won't have to worry about it in the race. But like you said, just win, man. I wish you luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And that was driver of the number 33, James Gilliard. Kind of speaking his mind there, coming into this season. Now we're out and we're getting ready to get to business here in qualifying. Want to take a look here at, I guess, our New York Jets fan of the field, driver of the number 47, Andrew Schroeder. This is another vehicle that is considered an open car and has to qualify their way into the show next Wednesday night, Devin.
Yeah, there are quite a few drivers here that will have to do that. Like you heard Gilliard there, he thought that some of the guys were going to be charter because of their stature from last season. However, that's not the case. They are going to have to race their way in via this qualifying or via the duel. And there is a long list. There is a very long list of drivers who are not locked into this race. So, you know, there's going to be fighting all over the track to get to those top positions and lock themselves in.
Now, this is intriguing. I don't know if Schroeder just doesn't know what is best for his car. Remember, these guys, they have 3 laps to set their fastest lap. But Andrew Schroeder, you heard right there in the back straightaway, he downshifted in the 4th gear and then put it back in the 5th gear near the corner.
Yeah, that's been a big debate among the iRacing community, actually. I've debated it myself, and I've tried it many different ways of downshifting in the middle of the turn down to 4th gear to get a little bit more power off the turn, and then backshifting up to 5th down the straightaway once the power gets there. A lot of different guys are trying different things, just trying to figure out what is the best way to drive this car at a super speedway. It seems to be that the 5th gear you really need to use when you're in the draft mode, and you can kind of keep it in 4th gear and not lose any speed when you're in the qualifying mode. So, it's just something that we got to figure out. Again, a brand new car. These drivers really haven't had a whole lot of time with this car. Again, 2 weeks ago is when the update was made to make these cars how they are performing in real life. So, 2 weeks to prepare for probably one of the biggest races of the year in Daytona. Most drivers consider this the racing Super Bowl. So, it's gonna be a lot to ask to get these drivers up to speed that quickly in this car.
Another driver considered an open driver in today's race. Newcomer to the series, driver of the number 37, Joseph Fogg, taken to the track in a beautiful bush white paint scheme there. Right in the inside lane of the track. They're going to see, obviously, the fastest way around this track is that innermost line. We're going to see the drivers who can do their best, keep it pinned on that yellow line, and see what they can get here. As he comes to the line, you see fastest time. How about James Gilliard, who has to get himself into the show? That might be enough. We still have 6 minutes to settle it, though.
Yeah, and the guy just wants to go out there. You heard it. He's going to go out there, put his best foot forward, and that is the way to do it right there. The top 2 make it in. James Gilliard sitting pretty at the moment. And what that does, was, I think, Nathan Aldridge. I'm trying to look for the 39 there. He is... Well, actually, the 39 is wrong on my scoring chart as far as the numbers go. But, it's Nathan Aldridge is registered as the 14. That is a non-chartered car. He is in the 39 there on our scoring chart. But he is the next one. Actually, he has just been overtaken by McMurchie there in the 84 car, another non-chartered driver. So a lot of these non-charters really showing up here in this race. Actually, the 84 is chartered. My fault. That is my bad. So Nathan Aldridge still the second fastest non-chartered car.
Absolutely. And Julio Villalobos, this is a chartered car from last season. Julio Villalobos coming into tonight's race, looking to put up a good little show here. It is number 45, a clean slate with the next-gen vehicle. Villalobos at times showed some good signs of speed, but just really couldn't put a race together. We'll see what he can do this time around off the corner, way up to the outside wall, using, I guess, what's left of the hill there down the straightaway to see whatever kind of a lap he can put together.
Yeah, he's down there in 10th at the moment. I think that bobble off of 4 really cost him a lot of time. It looks like that lap was going very well, but that really wash up off of the corner, I think it really hurt him. We've seen a lot of guys use this line though. Farron Elam right up against the wall there in that Crown Royal Ford, but yeah, we've seen that quite a bit. Some guys thinking maybe that high line is the fastest way around here to keep the momentum in this car up.
Still just under 4 minutes left here in qualifying for tonight's Daytona Duels and next week's season opener, 150 laps at Daytona. Real quick, want to give a shout out to us here, bringing you the coverage tonight. Devin Zimmerman on the call with me this evening. My name is Everson Arden, and well, here in the single car qualifying run, single car qualifying time trials, 3.5 minutes left, and some times to still be set out here. Few more left. How about last week? Last week's pole winner, didn't even mention this, the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. He's coming with a lot of momentum on his side from getting the single car qualifying job done last week, but he did not have to go against 38 other cars before doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that lap by Gilliard is hanging on to the top spot as we speak right now. But again, the 91 very fast. The pole sitter last week, he knows how to get it done. And we'll see what he can do now. He's right on that yellow line. This is where I've seen a lot of these drivers that have put the fast times down, right down the yellow line. And this car, again, very, very free off the turns. So you can keep it on the yellow line and not really lose speed off the turns. Pretty much in super speedway racing, you do not want to scrub any speed off. You want to keep the wheel as straight as possible, and you don't want to have any bobbles anywhere off the turn or in the center of the turn. You want to avoid bumps, anything that can scrub speed unnecessarily, and that includes running what you would consider a normal line at a racetrack, which would be, washing off the turn up to the wall. You really want to keep it as low as you can, and there it is, 91 to the top.
And how about it? We did see this last week. Jonathan Jennings getting it done last week to put it on the pole. Gilliard, the open vehicle, still there in second. Gilliard is the highest timed open vehicle on the charts right now. I believe Nathan Aldridge is the second, and Rob Pendleton is the third. We'll wait confirmation from race control before we get it all set and done here. A couple more drivers out on the track. I guess only really a couple more. Max Service still out there, trying to see to improve his starting position into the duel tonight. Off of turn 4, Max Service looking to put that number 81 to the apron. What does that improve? Does it improve him at all? I don't believe it improved, actually. And he will stay down in, goodness, I believe 27th.
Yeah, and again, qualifying, at a super speedway like this, not the end-all be-all of your race. You can really make moves during the race. Again, that's just how aggressive you want to be, though. Whether it's if you qualify at the back, want to stay at the back, or if you qualify up front and want to stay at the front. Just depends on what type of race you really want to run. With that type of qualifying, though, I expect Max Service to kind of bide his time, wait for the wrecks to happen, avoid them, and kind of make his way up that way. His teammate is right beside him there, Seth Berger. They're kind of still right there together. So, that Swift Racing team looks to be kind of set with being together at the back for the start of this race. Jennings, again, looks to be the top time. I mean, that is a very fast time compared to the other times that have been set.
And, well, what does that mean, Devin, as nobody else is out on the track to try to challenge that time?
Yeah, there's nobody else. So, 15 seconds ago, I believe we are safe to call the first of the season. The Pratt Tile and Stone Pole Award winner will be the 91 car of Jonathan Jennings. Congratulations to Jonathan Jennings. He is the first of the season winner of the Pratt Tile and Stone Pole Award. Pratt Tile and Stone serving Central Vermont since 2005.
And here we go. Because there are 39 cars who attempted to make the show tonight, we will have two 30-lap duels. The first duel will have 20 cars. The second duel will have 19 cars. And with that being said, it is time to get to action here with our starting lineup for tonight's first duel event. Row number 1, it'll be the 91 of Jonathan Jennings, the 84 of Derek McMurtry. Row number 2, it'll be the 88 of Joseph Cossie, the 39 of Nathan Aldrich. Row number 3, it'll be the 31 of Rob Pendleton, the 56 of Adam Gardner. Row number 4, the 63 of Randall Barnett, the 64 of Scott Williams, making his return to the series. Row number 5, it'll be the 11 of Scott Bailey, the 47 of Andrew Schroeder. Devin?
Yep, and then we have row number 6, Jacob Reeves in the 22 car, and outside of him, Devin Smith in the 40 car. A little bit of a change of a number for Devin Smith this season. And then the next row, Swift Racing dominates this one. 13th position is going to be Seth Berger, to his outside his teammate Max Service in the 81. Then we have row number 8, Jeremy Poole occupies that spot in the 32 car, to his outside Eric Peck in the 16. Farron Elam Jr. takes the 17th spot in the 98 machine, followed by on the outside Andrew St. Cour in the 12. And then finally, to round us out for this duel, Kyle Lingerfeld in the 65 and Adrian Schumacher in the 82, making his return to the season, or to this series.
And here we go, 20 drivers ready to do battle, 30 laps, 75 miles, and we are rolling already on our formation lap. And Devin, there's a lot that's going on with all the rules, the Daytona Speed Weeks. So I'm not going to oversell anything, but I will say I believe, well, what should be, according to what I've heard, the front row in qualifying should be locked. So Jonathan Jennings should be locked into the main event. James Gilliard should be locked into the main event. And then the top 2 non-chartered times, which were James Gilliard and Nathan Aldrich, should be locked into the event. So those 3 open cars should be locked in, and everybody else who is chartered should be locked into the main event. And then all the other spots will be up for grabs. Now, real quick, and go through the chartered drivers. I see so McMurtry, Causey are chartered. Adam Gardner is chartered. Randall Barnett is chartered. Scott Bailey is chartered. Trying to see the 64. The 64 is not chartered. Devin Smith is chartered. Jacob Reeves is chartered. Both Seth Berger and Max Service are chartered vehicles. Jeremy C. Poole is a chartered vehicle. Eric Peck is chartered. Farron Elam Jr. is chartered. Andrew St. Cour is chartered. Kyle Lingerfeld is not chartered. Adrian Schumacher is chartered. So the non-chartered vehicles we're looking at should be the 65, the 64, the 56, the 31. So those are the cars we're going to be looking at here. But here we go. 10 rows of NASCAR NextGen vehicles ready to do battle here at the Daytona International Speedway. We're racing in the Outlaws Sim Series. Right on schedule, Joseph Causey goes to the front of the pack. Rob Pendleton, the next vehicle in line, the open vehicle there in second position. They're starting to try to get a little bit of a tandem going here, and Scott Bailey trying to join them as well at the front of this pack.
Yeah, and then that's the risky run with this tandem draft. You get too far out there where these guys still have a little bit of a draft on you and you can't really break away, then they can really catch up and get some big speed. Another thing to note is last season's runner-up and Season 2 winner, Seth Berger, is making his way up to the front. Big moves on lap 1 from Seth Berger. He's already up to 3rd.
And here we go, a beautiful onboard shot created by Whiplash Sim Cams. Right on board here with the 77 of Seth Berger in 3rd position. So far in this duel, Adam Gardner has joined him up towards the front of this duel, and you can see right there the open car of Pendleton. And he's sitting pretty right now, and he's A-okay with where he's sitting right now. He should easily advance into the main event with a 2nd position finish. should he continue on here.
Yeah, and so far it's been pretty tame by these drivers, not really forcing the issue. There was a couple of big moves on lap 1, but nothing too out of the ordinary for guys trying to make moves, get where they want to be for this race. We kind of see there's a 4-car pack that's kind of, let some distance happen between themselves and this front pack. Then we had the outside line. I don't think that's going to be moving with only 5 cars up. 6 car tries to join, but now he's kind of stuck in the middle. So in the sucker hole, you really see it. It's very prevalent in this car. As we look on board here from Eric Peck, you can see there's 1 car in the middle way up in front of him. Oh, man, he's going to be falling to the back. Eric Peck now tries to look to the outside.
Eric Peck is very content just riding and letting this race play out here as we continue on in this dual event. Rob Pendleton, again, the highest running open vehicle there, 2nd car in line. Should I go back and see who was that vehicle dropping back? Was that Jeremy Poole, or was that the 39? It was the 32 there of Jeremy Poole. So he fell back a little bit, was able to get in line in front of the 40 car of Devin Smith, who he blinks out a little bit there. But one note on that Eric Peck view cam there, you saw how quickly these cars can catch the cars in front of them. Eric Peck closed up on that outside lane very fast and was able to pick up a couple positions in return for that draft that he received. But so far it has been, that inside lane has been very prevalent. They've stayed very nose to tail, a little bit of bobbing and weaving out there off of 2. But for the most part, these guys up front look pretty content to run nose to tail. How about the next open vehicle in this pack is that 47 of Andrew Schroeder. And I believe the top 3 open vehicles should be moving on to the main event next Wednesday night. Those will be the confirmed cars moving. Then we'll have math and formulas and piecing together the puzzle to see where everybody else kind of finds their way. And at the moment, Pendleton and Schroeder, the open vehicle, trying to make their way into this event. And Aldrich, who should be locked into the main event, starting to lead a charge on that outside lane in that 39 Carolina Panthers vehicle.
Yeah, that outside lane's starting to form up. He wants that 22, though, to get to his rear bumper. Jeremy C. Poole almost lost it off of 2. He slides back. You saw him at the bottom of your screen there. But yeah, that 22 car, the 39 wants the 22 right up on his rear end when they come off of 2 to really give him that shove he needs to really make up spots on the outside lane. Not able to do it that time. You really got to time it with the person behind you. You really got to have some good coordination. You can see it there. That's what he wants right there. Get it hooked up right on that back bumper. Still not close enough, it looks like, but you want to get a little bit closer than that and really push the person all the way down these straightaways to really get good runs.
We're keeping our eyes right here on this battle that's currently going on for the 6th position, because these are 2 open vehicles and 1 more open vehicle is looking to join, the 65 of Kyle Lingerfeld. Right here, 3 open vehicles in that frame. One of those could be eliminated by the end of the night. We'll have to wait for the official confirmation. But right there, it's important, it's imperative that these open vehicles find one another. And if you're behind, you try to work your way past the other open vehicles.
Yeah, and we're focusing on this battle, and just happens to be Super Bowl weekend. We got 2 NFL teams represented on the cars right here, the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. Both unfortunately did not make the Super Bowl.
Didn't really a little far from it.
Yeah, they both didn't have too great of a season, but hey, they're here represented on iRacing, trying to get the drivers driving them to a possible spot in the Outlaw race here next week. And so far, the Panthers seem to be winning out here on the outside lane. They're really getting good runs. A little bit of side draft that last lap really helped the 39 car out quite a bit, and he is really making ground now.
And while the Jets didn't have that great of a season, they did pull off some surprise victories against some really good teams. The Jets even won against a Super Bowl team, a team that went to the Super Bowl now, the Bengals.
Yeah, they did. The Bengals in the Super Bowl along with the Los Angeles Rams. So congratulations to both of those. But yeah, the Jets really pulled some surprises. And hey, maybe that Jets car right there, the 47. Maybe we'll see him pull a surprise here before the end of this race. We're only at lap 9. We still got plenty of laps to go. Oh, big wreck!
Oh no! Was that somebody up and over? Randall Barnett, his car is destroyed.
Yeah, his front end is gone, and that's one thing that teams in real life really don't want to see happen in a Gatorade duel race. Most of the time, they only bring one really good super speedway car, and if it gets wrecked and totaled, that's kind of ball game over. But here on the iRacing, we don't have that problem. He'll be able to get a new car next week as he is a charter vehicle, but this is not something you want to see. Oh, it looks like somebody clipped the apron. Oh my
goodness!
The 00 clipped the apron. It just shot him straight right.
Oh, no.
Huge hit from the 63.
Wild ride for Randall Barnett. And let's try to see who that was alongside of him. I believe the 00 was actually scored as the 64 on our end here. So we'll try to see here. Oops. There we go. Nice overhead shot. Hopefully we can keep it in frame here. Yep. We'll get to see what happened overhead to the 00. Scott Williams off of turn 4. He just got sideways overcorrected.
Yeah, he got loose off of turn 2.
Jennings hurting that one. He's a chartered vehicle, though, that is locked into the show with the pole position. So good for Jennings. But, yeah, if this was real life, he might be going to a backward car, the 91 car. Also involved in that one, the 11 of Scott Bailey. I believe that's another chartered vehicle. Yes, it is.
So luckily, the charter vehicles, well, I mean, I guess not lucky for them. They probably wanted to at least finish the race, but it looks like mostly the pretty heavily damaged. My gosh, what a wild ride for the 63 Barnett there. But, these charter vehicles, lucky for them, they get, they get to come back and do it again next week. But, none of the non-chartered taken out in that wreck. So... hold on to your dinner here. So we're going to ride along with Randall Barnett.
Yeah, and we'll see this gyro cam do some work as it works its way through 1 and 2. You can already see just how steep the banking is. And off the corner, the 0 just loses control. And, oh, wow. My, oh, my.
Jeez, what a ride. Hope nobody was in VR right there.
Right. Looks like we'll be able to carry on with no loss of chartered vehicles in this race. Or, I'm sorry, of open vehicles in this race. We did, I believe, Randall Barnett will call it a day there. Scott Williams is going to try to continue. The 84 of Derek McMurtry is on the pit lane. I did not see him get damaged there. See, there is some damage on 84.
There is the damage, yeah. Some right side damage maybe to avoid the wreck. He clipped the wall, kind of brushed
potentially, right. And we did see the 91 take a heavy hit, so.
Yeah, so the 91 definitely down on pit road. Not sure we'll see him back. He is locked in, so and he's locked into the front row, so he's not really having to put too much of a effort into this race. Probably just wanted to get some seat time, figure out some runs, figure out how, if he does lose the lead, how to get back up there. So that kind of hurts in that aspect of data gathering, for the Outlaws Daytona race. But man, it's a little early. We still got plenty of racing to go. I expect this is not going to be the only big wreck we see in this race.
Absolutely not. And if this was the 2 to green, we'd have time to come grab an interview real quick. But we are on the 1 to green, so we'll kind of let drivers do their thing. We won't interrupt them on the 1 to green lap here. But what we can do is take a look at the weather in tonight's event. Tonight's duel, 75 degrees to track, and that is a cold racetrack temperature. 72.5 degrees. The air temp partially cloudy, and it's windy out there as well. 12-mile-an-hour winds out of the southeast. Very cool conditions here on a February night in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah, very cool conditions. This is pretty much winter in Daytona, it seems like, with those temperatures there. But yeah, it's very cool. That normally tightens the track up, but we saw there with the 00, You can still get loose off of these turns, and I believe it was the interview that you had, Emerson, that said, that's kind of what these drivers are fighting. They're fighting the loose conditions. Who was that? Josh Fox. He was saying, they're fighting loose race cars off of turn number 2 and turn number 4, and that's precisely what we saw as we get ready to go back to green.
VIRacing.com safety vehicle in pit lane. We're back to racing at Daytona. And here we go. 3 open vehicles right here under a blanket. Schroeder, and no contact there with Aldrich and the 40 of Devin Smith. Oh, goodness. But 3 open vehicles there. They're all trying to chase down that 31, the 4th open vehicle in this race. All trying to make it into the show.
Yeah, they are. That was a very big restart for Joseph Cause. He got out quite a ways. I was worried he was going to be run down on the backstretch there, but the 31 just chose to stay right behind the 88. So far, those two have been working together very well. They could choose to continue that partnership with the Swift Racing cars of Seth Berger and Max Service directly behind them. And then we get the trio of non-charter drivers right there. The 47, the 65, and the 39, all right there together. Schroeder, Lingerfeld, and Aldrich. Those guys, I mean, it's going to get quite heated between those guys here in the next 10 laps, I suppose.
All right, so the last of these open cars is not guaranteed to miss the show, but you're guaranteed to make the show if you finish in the top 3 of those open cars. So you want that sense of security leaving tonight's race and not having to watch the next duel and piece together whether you're going to make the race or not.
Yep, and that 31 Pendleton right now occupies the first spot. The 47 in second. The 65 would be the third car as a big move made to the outside by Devin Smith. And the 40, he takes the run that he got off of turn 2, but nobody goes with him. The 98 really falling off of his back bumper. Oh, almost lost it there in turn 3, but yeah, that really slowed up. I mean, he got a huge run, but just no one went with him, and it just kind of stalled out very quickly.
Someone I'm surprised is moving their way to the front is this 82 of Adrian Schumacher. What we did notice last week was he was at the front, and last week, it was the Clash. He's not, too worried about a non-points race. But it was the Clash, and he was working his way to the front. And this time, in a qualifying race, Adrian Schumacher wants to work his way forward. He's a chartered vehicle. He is, he will make the show. But he's out here, and he's racing. And, Devin, if you know Adrian, and we do know Adrian, he likes to start at the back and work his way forward, especially at these play tracks. He wants to be at the back. All of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, he's kind of changed his mindset. He's getting up here and racing.
Yeah, one of the guys, that we come to expect to being very methodical with his race, Adrian Schumacher. Very calculating, very methodical race strategy from him, it seems, every single race. Whether it be, coming down to, fuel calls or just the racing in general, he tends to be very calculated, very methodical with the moves that he makes. And it seems like with this new generation car, he's not really sitting at the back and waiting for things to happen in front of him and make his places up that way. It seems with this new car, he wants to be up at the front, thinking that is the safest space to be. Although he still qualifies in the back, maybe to avoid that first wreck. But once that first wreck gets by and those cars, get damaged and can't get back in the race, he starts to make his way forward, and is exactly what he's doing right now up to 9th.
But with that being said, he's going to start, at this moment, right in the middle of a 40-car field next Wednesday night, if things are to finish the way he is, the way they are right now.
I honestly don't think he's gonna end up there. I think we're just seeing the methodical way that he works, just slowly but surely making your way forward, one car at a time. Let the guys in front of you make the mistake. and then you take full advantage of their mistake. We saw there the 40 car got out of line thinking he had a humongous run and people were going to go with him. Nobody went with him, and Schumacher just slips right underneath of him and takes that position away. That seems to be his game plan right now for the moment. These guys all nose to tail. Seeing that big wreck happen probably calmed all these drivers down, and they are waiting pretty much probably until about lap with 6 or 5 to go is really when I expect the emotions and the adrenaline to really kick in.
Working lap 19 of 30 in tonight's duel event. And actually, as far as Scott Williams, I think Scott Williams is an open vehicle. I don't see him actually on the chartered list. I'll have to confirm later. But that's huge. I was going to say, Randall Barnett, he's confirmed out of the race, but he's a chartered vehicle. He should be okay. He is okay, actually, because as long as if you're a chartered vehicle who set a qualifying time tonight, you are in the show. That is confirmed. So, Randall Barnett is fine. Jonathan Jennings, who qualified on pole. It'll be intriguing to see if he still gets his pole position while wrecking out the duel. I believe he should still. But, nonetheless, Jonathan Jennings is locked into the main event. But Scott Williams, 19th place. He's out of the race. I don't see him on this chartered list. And he may not make the main event now with that wreck.
And I don't see him on the non-charter list either. So, it's quite interesting. Maybe a last minute ad there would be Scott Williams just trying to get his hat into the ring. So I suspect he would be a non-chartered, but this really ruins his chances of making this race. So I don't expect we'll see him for the actual Daytona race. Unfortunately, it looked like he was having a decent run, and then just everything went wrong for him all at once. So unfortunate circumstances for the 64 car. Hopefully we'll see him back at the next race after Daytona to try again and get into the race. But it's we don't know
100%. We still have to watch the second duel, piece everything together, but it's not looking good. It is the current premise.
Correct, yeah, and we're starting to see that outside lane form behind this pack of, it looks about 10 to 12 cars in a row on the bottom lane. A couple guys kind of getting impatient. Devin Smith leading that charge again, and he's got a guy behind him to help this time. Let's see if they can push forward. They're trying to tandem draft there. Farron Elam Jr. Behind Devin Smith, really trying to push him forward. Doesn't look like they're getting anywhere. They duck back in line.
Look at the rear end there of Devin Smith's car.
Oh, wow. Somebody is pushing. Either that happened on the last wreck or somebody's really pushing him, but I don't suspect that that's really helping him being out in front here. If that wing gets pushed up, that rear wing gets pushed up any little bit, it really slows the car down, acts like a parachute on the back of these cars, and you really can't make any headway. I'm not sure if it's that or what's happening, but it does not look like these guys are making too much headway in these cars. But
here comes some cars to the outside lane, though. Adam Gardner leading the outside lane. How about it from race controller last season?
Yep, and Adrian Schumacher goes with him. Here's the calculated risk here from Adrian Schumacher. Says, we're getting to 7 to go. It's go time.
Lingerfeld, one of the open cars. He jumps up there. He wants to go forward.
Yep, and then we saw the 47 of Schroeder try to jump up too.
Schumacher drops down to the bottom. And now Lingerfeld
follows him. Schumacher takes what he can get. One at a time. He picks them off. He got one car right there. So he's just picking them off one at a time. Like I said, slowly making his way forward. Now up to 8th place.
There you go. We still have 7 laps to go in this race. Now Gardner has a little bit of momentum here, and Schumacher went with him and then left him. I don't know. Gardner's gonna like that very much, but he's gonna do his own thing on the outside. He's trying to get Smith, Elam, and Bailey to get going here on that outside lane, and a couple more cars on the outside may just do the trick.
Yeah, I think we get another 2 or 3 cars on the outside lane. They'll really be able to start making some headway. We're getting down here to about 5 to go, 6 to go, and This is where I expect the intensity to really start picking up. Schumacher losing spots now. That outside lane starting to get organized with just 3 cars. I suspect these guys in front are going to see that. Some of these guys are going to jump up. There's one taker. And I wonder we're going to get a couple more in front. Maybe that Jets car might jump up in front and try to take this thing to the front. Let's see.
22, Jacob Reeves, who jumped up there. He is a car that should be locked into the show. The 47, the 39, the 65, 3 open vehicles watching an outside lane just drive right on by them.
Yeah, good push there from Devin Smith on Andrew Gardner. Oh, Devin Smith
sideways.
But, man, a big push from the 40 car to Adam Gardner there in the 56, and that really picked them up some spots. They lose a little bit of momentum because the 40 of Devin Smith had to get so far out of the gas, and now Devin Smith being left out to dry by Farron Elam.
Wow. Here comes Lingerfeld now, but there's the help on that outside lane has dissipated a bit. Is he going to stay patient enough? Is somebody going to go if Schumacher wants to go with? Now Gardner's going to get lined up here. Here we go. We're getting an outside lane moving here with 4.5 laps to go in the duel.
Yep, this is go time. If you want to make moves, this is the time to do it. A 82 and the 65 jump up to the outside. They're really going to have to get nose to tail, get the cars behind them nose to tail, and hope no one jumps up in front of them and kills their momentum when they really start to pull up speed. It looks like we're starting to get there. 82 pushing the 65 a little too much, but they stay in line. This is where it gets fun.
Now, these cars are stable enough for 3 cars to push like that, but everybody has to be on the same agenda. Everybody has to be ready for it. Everybody has to be willing to do that. All 3 of them were excited to get lined up there, but I don't think all 3 of them were on the same page right there, and you almost saw half the field end in calamity right there.
Yep, and being open cars, that's not what you want to have happen. 65 making some big headway again with the 82 on the outside, but it looks like that outside lane behind them has kind of died off. What's going to happen here? A lap car coming up in front of these cars, and man, this could get really interesting really quick. We are coming to 3 to go. Who's going to make the big move?
3 laps to go in the first of the 2 Daytona duels. Kyle Lingerfeld trying to race his way into the show right now as the 4th open vehicle in this race, a lap vehicle. Jeremy C. Poole, and sideways is Lingerfeld. He's going to take the 16 out, up and over, cars in the fence. Around goes Adam Gardner, and a big accident on the back straightaway to caution is going to come out.
And that kills Kyle Lingerfeld's chances there. Looks like the car just got super unsettled when trying to pass the lap down car there of, I believe that was Jeremy Poole, and just could not hold it in the center of the turn. Something different that we've seen. You know, these cars are stable when pushing each other, but when the air starts moving around these cars, you know, guys on the outside and inside, it becomes very unstable, very different from the Gen 6 car.
It is confirmed we will get overtime in this duel. And you saw he got sideways before he even caught the 32. And oh my goodness, the 16 absolutely destroyed Eric Peck. Derek McMurtry involved. Adam Gardner. Schumacher may have some damage. My goodness, what a ride. And another big airtime wreck on the back straightaway here at Daytona.
Yeah, that turn 2 seems to be notorious for causing incidents now. It used to be turn 4 was kind of the problem corner on this track. It looks like in these next gen, the turn 2 car is going to be there and was right along with Eric Peck, who took a wild ride.
See, there's the lapper of Jeremy C. Poole, and
just nothing he could do.
Oh
my gosh.
Violent wreck. I know it's just pixels and sim rigs and vibrations and you know, inputs, but my goodness, you can't help but just wince at something like that, even on a sim.
Yep, and we're looking at a few of these damaged cars taking some damage repairs. A bunch of these cars kind of fairly damaged, but a bunch of them are some non-chartered vehicles, so they want to stay on track to try, and maybe they don't have a shot at the top 3, but maybe they have a shot to make it, you know, with all the formulas and stuff after the fact. Another big hit there from the 80, was it the 84, 94?
84 there, McMurtry.
84 McMurtry, yeah, he took a huge hit.
And we're going to reevaluate our scenario here with the re-racked field and the caution period that we have here. And let's kind of go ahead. Let's bring up our running order on the left side of your screen. There's a lot of vehicles out, a lot of vehicles in the pit lane. But what we have 10 running vehicles at the moment. Oh, wow. This wreck took out a lot. So let's go through it. For sure, Joseph Kazi is a chartered vehicle. He's locked in. No issues there. The 31 of Rob Pendleton. He's been running well all day. He is the highest running open vehicle at the moment. And from the looks of how many open vehicles have now been taken out of this race, he should be okay. But he's up there doing his own thing. Pendleton is. Trying to see what he can muster up there. Second car. Third and fourth, Service and Berger. Inverse those. Those are locked in vehicles. Andrew Schroeder, the second open vehicle in this field. They're in fifth. Nate Aldrich should be locked in based on his qualifying time as the second highest non-chartered vehicle. We'll wait confirmation there, but Aldrich is the third open vehicle in this race. He should be okay nonetheless. Then we have Andrew St. Coeur, who is a chartered vehicle this season. So he's locked in. The 98 of Farron Elam's a chartered vehicle, along with the 95 of Devin Smith and the 56 of Adam Gardner, who's coming down the pit lane. Now we look our way back to the 11 of Scott Bailey, who is also a chartered vehicle. The 84 of McMurtry, the 22 of Jacob Reeves. Those are all chartered vehicles. So we still have 3 open vehicles left in this race. But, I'm sorry, 3 open vehicles left running in this race. Or we look on from there. It's
those guys seem pretty safe
yeah.
right now. Pretty much all of their competition has been taken out in that last incident. So for the 31 to 47 and the 39, things looking very positive for them now. You know that they now that they have
a
little bit of breathing room. Yeah, it's like, okay, now where do I want to start in this race? I want to be up front. With anything that we've seen so far, it does look like the front is the safest place to be. So, you know, who's going to make the move here with a green-white checker to get themselves possibly on that second row?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That the front has been the safest. You see, it's really the wrecks have happened middle of the pack and towards the back, where all that air is moving around and there's a little bit of instability in these cars. Yeah, definitely the front looks like, you know, with the least amount of air moving around, looks to be the safest point in the field. But that can always be the conclusion you can draw of pack racing, but it's not always the case. But here we go. 12 vehicles still running. 12 vehicles out on the racetrack, and 10 are queued up here. A 2-lap overtime attempt as the iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety in the pit lane. We are back to racing. 2 laps to settle it in the first Daytona duel. Max Service now trying to make something happen on that outside lane. He's got Nate Aldrich trying to work himself up into the mix. Pendleton shoving Kazi. It looks like Service and Berger got split up there. We'll see how long that stays a thing, but we're coming around to the white flag this time.
Yeah, Max putting up a very good defense up there with only 2 cars on that outside lane. It looks like that 81 very strong on the outside lane, able to stay with the leaders for the moment. Is he going to get any more help? He really needs to get some help other than just one more car. Does look like he's going to start falling back here, but his teammate jumps out with him.
The white flag presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Here in the first Daytona duel on the Outlaws Sim Series season. Service falls back. It's Kazi who's commanded this duel, looking to start third in next week's season opener. Pendleton might have something to say about it. He's going to lay his bumper there on the rear end of the 88. Seth Berger there in third, trying to see if he can get anything to work, anything to happen here into turns 3 and 4. Still single file, waiting for off of turn 4. Pendleton peaks. Is he going to send off the corner. No, he's going to push. Berger jumps out of line. He has no help. He's going to try, but it's going to be Joseph Causey winning duel number 1.
Joseph Causey gets it done, and duel number 1 dominated the entire race with the help of the 31 of Pendleton right behind him, pushed him the whole way. Seth Berger tried to make something happen at the end, not to be this time though. He will settle for the 3rd place position.
Derek McMurtry trying to go ahead and finish things up, and Adam Gardner. Something did Gardner get damaged in that? Yeah.
He got very badly damaged in that last wreck. The front end of the car is very smushed in, the rear end, very jacked up.
And well, that's going to do it for duel number 1, Devin. We're going to be clicking things right away. We are ready to get underway here for duel number 2. And yeah, just a moment here, we will get that starting lineup. And here it is again. So if you remember, about 32 laps of racing ago, we had qualifying, and James Gilliard qualified as the highest non-chartered vehicle in the field. He qualified 2nd out of all the times. He'll be on the pole for dual race number 2. To his outside will be the 69 of John Mickey. Row number 2, it'll be the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman. The 3 of Greg Holt. Row number 3, it'll be the 24 of Jason Miz. The 45 of Julio Villalobos. Number 4, it'll be the 37 of Joseph Fogg, the 36 of Seth Fitzpatrick, and in row number 5, it'll be the 48 of Garrett Velzy, the 27 of Joshua Gaff, right, Devin?
Yep, row number 6, we'll see Matt Rogers in the 11th spot there in the 96 car. To his outside, Jacob Zala in the 2. I do believe he's driving the 4, if I'm not mistaken. Matthew Setzer in row number 7 will be the inside. On his outside, Doug Solms in the 67. Row number 8, we'll see Joshua Fox in the 66. We talked to him pre-race. He's the one who told us how handful these cars are. To his outside, the 21 of Kevin Thompson. And then row number 9, we'll see Andrew Pratt in the 75 machine. And to his outside, 42 of Tyler Markle. And then rounding out the final duel, Jesse Adams in the 55.
39 cars attempting to qualify for the season opener tonight. And so far, 20 have gone through duel number 1, and only 12 really even crossed the start-finish line at the end of that one. 19 drivers in this duel. Let's take a look at the weather, see if it's any different. The track tip has cooled off 1 degree, so an even cooler track compared to duel number 1. Air temp, 71.8 degrees, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, partially cloudy, and the winds have calmed slightly, 9 miles an hour out of the southeast. Getting ready to do battle here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway. Once again, want to shout out Bay State Limousine, the official partner, the Outlaws Sim Series Speed Weeks here at Daytona. And again, book a night out with Bay State Limousine. You'll save $50 if you mention that Outlaws sent you. So go ahead and get yourself a nice little night, either in a limousine or a sedan. But here we go. The field off of turn number 40, iRacing.com safety vehicle. We'll find it safety in the pit lane. Devin, are you ready for duel number 2? Well, you better be, because we're going green. Lap number 1 will go to the 33 of James Gilliard, and another duel off and away here at Daytona.
Yeah, James Gilliard staying up at the front. He's got 3 Performance Sim Sports cars right behind him. Was it Jeremiah Stutzman, not officially on the team, I don't believe, but affiliated with Performance Sim Sports, Greg Holt and Jason Mids directly behind them. And that inside lane, again, like we've seen before, That inside lane pretty dominant here as they're 3 wide halfway back in the pack there.
Yeah, we'll try to catch up and see what was going on there. Looks like everybody has kind of sorted themselves out towards the back of the pack. I think drivers just kind of wanting to ride in certain spots. They do get it all sorted out back here at the back. It's Stutzman with the fastest lap there. Now Gaff right, and I believe that'll continue to tick over with Fitzpatrick taking the next fastest lap there. And go ahead and look at who's open and who's chartered in this race. It looks like there's a lot of chartered vehicles here towards the front of this pack. But the 37 of Joseph Fogg, I believe, is the highest running non-chartered vehicle. The 45 of Julio Villalobos is non-chartered as well. And
the leader.
Oh, James.
But he's already locked in.
He's locked in via the front row qualifying position. But that's fair, yes. James Gillard is a non-chartered vehicle as well. And I believe Joshua Lane Fox, deeper in the pack, is also non-chartered this season. The 5 of Matthew Setzer is not chartered. The 4 Jacob Zala is not chartered. A lot of non-chartered vehicles in this pack.
It seems that that's kind of how the cars fell. The last one had, a little bit of smattering of
Adams as well.
Yep, 55 there. But we had a smattering of non-chartered vehicles in the last one. This one seems to have a lot more, so a lot more on the line, it seems, in this second duel. And we kind of have 2 distinct packs right now. This front pack that we've been watching, and then, the front pack that we have been watching, and then the second pack that we're watching now, being led by the 96 there, Matt Rogers, behind him, Jacob Zala in that 4 car, and they're kind of losing a little bit of time. They're lined up, whereas the guys in front of them are not lined up. But that's not you don't really want to fall behind too early, but it does look like Zala really pushing at 96 to try and catch back up to the front of this field.
Matt Rogers trying to do what he can. Now that gap is 1.5 seconds. As Zala can lay it on that rear bumper, they should be a-okay and catch that group, but struggling a little bit to do that off of turn 4. Rogers will close the gap. They're getting closer, but he's got to take a huge commitment from that second car in line.
Yep, it's got to be a big commitment. You got to really plan out so you don't blow the engine as well. Again, these cars do have that air intake. If you block it for too long, pushing another car in front of you, you can blow the engine. But it does look like these guys are catching that first pack quite heftily now. I believe Matt Rogers should be in the draft of that final car. That should pull them up fairly quickly to this draft. It looks like we haven't had a pass for the lead at Performance Sim Sports to the point.
Yeah, Jeremiah Stutzman has taken to the point. It's Julio Villalobos, the highest running non-chartered vehicle now. James Gilliard there in second. Now Fogg takes that spot away from Gilliard, but again, Gilliard is locked in, so Gilliard doesn't really have to worry about anything as he continues on his way. Kevin Thompson with the fastest lap now.
Yeah, Gilliard being hung out to dry on the outside lane there. Really no friends to help him out right now. So he's going to be steamrolled to the back. Hopefully he can get in before the second pack catches up here. Fall in line, just kind of bide his time, try and make his way to the front later in the race. But, man, Matt Rogers, big run down the backstretch, catches right up to the back of the 89 car.
In an 89 car, I guess that's a misnumbered number 27, a Gaff, right? I guess, yeah, that's Gaff, right, who didn't get the memo of what his car number was. But there's been a lot of, I guess, confusion with the card numbers, but more or less numbers have been set, and numbers just aren't being registered by the sim. I don't quite understand what's been going on that part, but that's just a misnumbered vehicle.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times. Maybe some custom number paints have been put on these cars, and the fellas have forgotten to get those numbers changed and updated for this event. But we'll get hopefully that sorted out for next week. We'll have to just, we'll keep everyone appraised with the names. You can see it on the scroll bar on the left-hand side. That should help clear up most of the confusion. But we'll do our part here in the booth to help out as well. As we see, there's really some bobbing and weaving here. We're watching the 45 there. I believe that is Julio Villalobos.
Yep.
Yeah, he's kind of bobbing and weaving down the front stretch there, really getting on the apron. Looks like his car's a little unsettled there behind these Performance Sim Sports guys up in front.
And Villalobos now, he's just got to keep that thing under control. He should be A-okay, because those Performance Sim Sport guys, they're fast. They're not going to be broken up very easily. So I believe Villalobos, he's found a good little group here and keep that car under control. But John Mickey leading a little charge here on the outside lane, help with Seth Fitzpatrick in that 36 car on the high side.
Yeah, this outside lane really forming up now. They've got about 5 cars. 6 car was looking to get there. Oh boy!
Zola, what is he doing?
Looks like Gathright left the door open for a second, and Jacob Zala was saying, thank you very much. I'll try to get there, but the door closed on him fairly quickly. He had to get out of the gas to avoid a wreck, but oh man, that could have been disastrous very early on in this race.
Try to see what happened here with the replay. We're going to be looking back at Zala a little bit there. You see Gathright and some miscommunication, I guess.
It looks like Zala had a huge run. Gathright did slide up a little bit, but the door was not there. It looks like there just wasn't enough room at that point, but Zala trying to make something happen with the giant run that he had. And it doesn't hurt him too much. He doesn't lose too much ground, but that could have been a lot worse. Hats off to both drivers, keeping it off each other right there.
Yeah, that could have been worse for sure. We could have seen some cars have some early nights here in duel number 2, but fortunately, everybody kept their car straight. But now we got an outside lane really bringing the heat. John Mickey leading the charge on that outside. Seth Fitzpatrick, and that's going to leave some questions here for Miz and for Holt. Are they going to work with the team, or are they going to join on that bandwagon on the high side?
I think they're looking for a little bit more speed from that outside before they have to make a decision. It looks like they fall off when they get onto the straightaway, but when they get to this turn here and down the backstretch when they make their biggest gain, we need that 36 car, though, to be tucked up on that 69. That's the best way they're going to make it. A 37 loose off of 2. He ducks out of line.
Starting to become the name of the game here is whose cars are most stable off of turn number 2.
Yeah, the 37 almost lost it. Very similar way that we saw the 00 lose it in the first duel. Fortunately for him, he's able to keep it under control, back off, and regather himself. He falls to the end of the line and just kind of tucks in and falls back to live another day. Another car that could have been victim to something much worse, and some excellent driving from these guys right now to keep it off at each other, keep this thing going green, and keep this racing up, very intense racing up, for another lap longer.
Yeah, Atlanta started to lose a little bit of touch here. Villalobos and Performance Sim Sport guys. That's pretty much what's gone on here on the bottom side. Performance Sim Sport and Julio Villalobos has just kind of found himself in the middle of that lane, that line of cars. Really starting to get something going here. Zala looks to the inside of Gathright again. And Contact, they're going to go around. Oh, no. I saw that one coming.
Yep, that's very similar to what was happening a couple of laps ago. Very similar move, very similar contact. And, yeah, that seemed inevitable right there.
The second time, Zala was trying to force it to the inside of Gathright. We'll try to see here what happened. Gathright, to Zala's, in fairness to Zala, Gathright continues to, not be able to keep that car glued to the bottom. I don't know if that car is not stable, or, but Zala has two wheels under the double yellow at that time.
Yeah, he was below the yellow line, so that's...
Oh my, and another 3 wrecks,
huge hit.
3 airborne crashes. Up and over is Fitzpatrick, and luckily Fitzpatrick is chartered. My goodness.
There were
Oh,
quite a few
Gilliard
in
is
that
locked.
wreck who was not
Luckily,
chartered,
Gilliard
though.
is locked in, Vo. My goodness. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. And another race where Gilliard again had a great starting position, good speed in the car, and just just not able to finish a race. I mean, his luck's got to change. That 33 machine, you know, he has good speed there, and this was just an unnecessary move. I think too early for a move like that, especially
Way
with both
too early.
for both wheels below the yellow line. That's a very early
We're not
call
even
to make a
halfway.
move. Yeah.
Ugh.
Unfortunately, we saw that move earlier in the race. You kind of know that he was prone to take that move, though. If you're Gathright, and Gathright again, he is having trouble keeping that car on the bottom, but there was not enough room. I don't think, you know, you can't go below the yellow line on super speedways. That rule applies in real life as it does here in Outlaws. So that would have been an illegal overtake anyway. But yeah, that's it's still a little too early for any type of aggressive move like that. I understand that it's a huge run. You can see the four humongous run, and oh, here it comes, big spin. Looks like a UFO just hovering for a second there. That was crazy. And we lose the camera feed there as he's spinning on his roof.
My goodness. This is going to be the tale of airborne wrecks tonight. 3 wrecks, 3 airborne cars. My goodness. I don't know what to say.
I think that was a car that went under him and kept him looking like it looked like a UFO hovering, you know, in the air for a second. I wonder if a car got under him here. We'll get a good view from this this Dodge cam on the Doug Sohm machine here. Oh yeah, he landed on a car. He landed on the 55's roof.
Sohm's got some damage there.
Yeah, Doug got some damage, but he landed on the 55's roof.
We'll take another look at that for you. Let's see that view from Jesse Adams' onboard. Let's see here. Right on board with Jesse Adams on the back straightaway. You'll see all this kind of developing there on the left side of your screen. The black and green Toyota Camry, yeah. I forgot what vehicles are. The Camry down the inside, Azala and the 3
you
cars.
See the
up
run.
the
He's
road
already
on the
getting it
inside.
halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah, halfway through the turn, he's getting a giant run.
And then, I mean, he's under the yellow line.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
Setzer, big hit there. Rogers.
Oh,
No, the teammates get together at the very end. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of cars. Jesse Adams, a non-chartered car. Unfortunate for him. Also, the 5 Matthew Setzer non-chartered vehicle, both involved in that wreck. James Gilliard locked in, luckily, with his qualifying time. He was involved in the wreck as well. Jacob Zala, a non-chartered vehicle, involved in the wreck.
Zala doesn't have much damage, but he will be EOL'd for his actions.
Yes, just given the EOL, Joshua Gathright also involved in the wreck. Joshua Gathright, I do believe, is a chartered vehicle. I'm checking on that right now. He is. So not going to affect him. It'll affect his starting position, of course, but not really going to affect him too much.
And this will put a lot of those Dark Horse trucks in trouble. There's a lot of Dark Horse trucks in this race that are open vehicles. A lot of them. I mean, a lot of them are open vehicles, and a lot of them were back there where that wreck happened. And we look at it now. Villalobos, the highest running open vehicle. Joshua Fox, second highest in 7th. Joseph Fogg, the 3rd highest open vehicle in 8th. Then I believe Zala, the 4th vehicle in 12th.
Yeah, just to confirm there, that would have been an illegal overtake. Adam Garner's come across the driver chat saying that had that move been completed and been completed successfully, the 4 car would have been shown the black flag and would have had to serve a penalty for passing below the yellow line. So wanted to go ahead and throw that out there that that would have been an illegal overtake, and the 4 car would have been black flagged had that overtake been completed and a wreck not occurred.
Well, the overtake was completed, but he also got EOL'd for it, so nonetheless.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
iRacing.com safety vehicle, though, in the safety pit lane. We're back to racing in duel number 2. Out in front, it is Jeremiah Stutzman at the point. Teammates Greg Holt and Jason Miz there is second, third, Garrett Velzy fourth, and it's a battle for fifth between Julio Villalobos and Joshua Lane Fox. A couple open vehicles doing battle with 12 laps to go in duel number 2.
Yeah, and then one thing that caution really did hurt was Julio Villalobos. He was kind of tucked in behind the Performance Sim Sports guys, just running very comfortably as the top non-charter vehicle. Now he really has to put in some work as the 66 of Fox jumps up in front of him. They're going to try and make that outside line work, get around the 48 here, maybe try to put a play on these Performance Sim Sports drivers. Again, those Performance Sim Sports guys, we saw Causey, he won the first duel. And it looks like Performance Sim Sports trying to dominate the second duel as well. They're all lined up there, looking very, very fast, very, very strong indeed.
Absolutely. These drivers are getting after it. John Mickey showing some muscle. And Doug Solms, who was just in that wreck, moving forward in that number 67.
Yeah, it looks like Doug didn't get too much damage. He's up here fighting for a spot. Very good car. It looks like he has, even being involved in wreck, he's still able to keep up the speed, keep up with the draft, and doing some work there in the 67 Purple Dodge.
Yeah, obviously that is a custom make vehicle there. I believe it's, if I had to guess, it's a Ford, but trying to make that Dodge name live on. I know they were loved in the sport before their departure in 2012. They're just making a virtual return, not taken seriously, of course. Making the virtual return here 10 years later. How about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the Dodge there, but again, that is on the Ford Mustang car. The Ford Mustang does look to be poking through the decals there quite a bit, but trying to make it live on. Doug Solms there, respect the effort. But that outside lane containing quite a few non-charter vehicles, this inside lane containing quite a few non-charter vehicles, and everybody trying to make up some spots here.
This is going to be the only night of the season you will hear us say non-chartered and open vehicles this much. I mean, this is something else. With the duels, it's pretty cool to have, the potential of go or go homers. And I think with the number of cars, I think more than likely everybody who showed up tonight should be okay. But we'll have to piece everything together with math later. But this lead pack has been really fizzled, or has really been shrunken down with the big wrecks there. We only have 12 in this lead pack.
Yeah, what a push from Julio Villalobos to the 66 of Joshua Fox there during the backstretch. They get to the 24 of Jason Miz there. They're not able to get by him, but they get to him. They gained an entire spot. The 48 of Velzy was in front of them, but now they're going to have to do it again. The 45 trying to stay tucked into the back of the 66 as they get into turn 1. He's going to have to set it up and push him again down the back straightaway, but it looks like they're kind of falling apart. Can he get back to him?
Trying to see what can be mustered up here on the back straightaway. Shoving. They're up alongside the 24, maybe up alongside Holt into the corner. Villalobos putting in some work behind that 66.
Yeah, look at these 4 cars go on the outside. 4 cars making up this speed. They're battling for the lead.
Challenging for the lead.
Challenging is Josh Fox. He's got it this lap. Man, what a push from the 45 and the 66 here. Now the Performance Sim Sports guys trying to get hooked up and keep their lead intact. They see their precious 1-2-3 finish being washed away here with the 6 or 7 laps remaining.
If Villalobos can give a steady push here on the back straightaway, they're off-centered on the bottom lane. This is huge to the outside.
And they get good runs here in turns 3 and 4. That 66 is able to get great drive in the center of the turns off of the pushes from the 45 car. This time, though, it doesn't look like he gets such a great launch in the center of the turn as he did before, but he's still able to maintain the lead. They're fighting back, though, on the inside as Jeremiah Stutzman and Greg Holt.
The battle's going on, and now Stutzman off-center. The Holt's got to check up, but the top line is not lined up. Oh, man.
They seem to get lined up off of 2. They seem to get lined up off of 2. I'm seeing it again. Here comes the 45 to the back of the 66.
Here comes the 3.
Can they clear them?
Bumps while Holt is pushing, trying to get someone clear of somebody into the corner. Nobody moves.
And a little side draft game being played by the 66 now. He dives down a little bit, trying to dump air on the back of the 77 or 71 machine, slow them down just a little bit so he can keep in front and have another shot at it down the back straightaway. Greg Holt, though, looks to have his car dialed up on the inside now. He gets a little off center, but for the most part, that 3 car pushing the 71 spectacularly in defense here.
Oh, the inside lane checking up a little bit. This is not going to be good in Ver. For Vercase down the back straightaway, trying to get something happen. Now Villalobos, maybe they're both clear. And Thompson trying to get clear. Not clear is the 21, but the top 2 are clear. Joshua Fox to the point, and Julio Villalobos second. 2 open vehicles, and around goes Stutzman.
Stutzman around. He's collecting some cars. Oh,
that's 3 Performance Sim Sport cars.
Oh, they do. And then look at Tyler Markle just kind of scamper through there.
The caution's going to come out right. Oh, man. I think Stutzman... Stutzman knew they were going to clear down as soon as they were clear, right? But
yeah,
maybe there was too much.
He gave him a nice... He gave 45 a nice bump, but that bump slowed him down so much he fell right back into his teammate and got loose, and the teammate ended up just turning him around. Unfortunate circumstances, but things happening so quick right there. We'll get another look at it.
Oh my goodness, Thompson, not even half clear on that. And here in the 3, this is where it all happened. Stutzman tried to shove the 45, and I'm going to be honest, it looked like it backfired on him.
Yeah, it definitely backfired. He ends up in the wreck.
The 37 open vehicle with damage.
Yep, 37 involved. Oh, man, and John Mickey having such a good run earlier in this race, really trying to challenge these Performance Sim Sports guys at one point involved in that wreck. Tyler Markle, though, slows his car down, just kind of survives another day. He did the same thing in the last wreck.
Here we go, we're right on board with Stutzman. You see the top 2 are clear. Thompson,
what a run.
Not even close. I don't know what Thompson was thinking there. And they into the corner. He never lifted.
Nope, just gave him a shove, and then he just slid up just a bit, and the 3 car, trying to push him up there, keep the run going, and just got him loose. And then there's a view of Tyler Markle there going by.
Last week's Clash winner, trying to make something happen at the end of the duel to no avail. In trouble here in the waning laps of the second Daytona duel. Let's try it on board with Tyler Markle and see what he all saw.
Yeah, he was the last car in this pack, so he's been hanging back at the back of this pack the whole time for both wrecks, and he's just kind of slowed down, came to a stop, let everything happen in front of him, and then he just kind of drives by. Yeah, he's already backing it down here, seeing everything happen in front of him, just slowly backing it down. And lets it all unfold and goes right through the middle. Excellent driving there. I mean, excellent driving from the 42 machine there to get around that.
And that's tough. Something I covered the entire month of North Daytona, And the one thing we were all looking forward to was the Daytona 500, and they were gonna run an entire 500-mile race. It was scheduled to be in Gen 6 cars, and then there's talks of going to the NextGen car. Did end up being a NextGen car. What happened in that race? And it was a long race. I think there's somewhere in the range between 12 and 15 yellows. A lot of wrecks. But people were struggling to slow down for the wrecks because the brakes on these vehicles, they don't match up to what it is in real life yet on the sim. Now, there was an update today, and I did not get a chance to test it out, so I don't know if the brakes have been updated. But before the update this week, all the talk was about the brakes on these vehicles not matching what, it's supposed to be in real life. In real life, they're talking about bigger, better brakes, and these cars were not slowing down, like, at all, really, is what it seemed like. And we saw in the Daytona 500, a lot of drivers having to really spin their cars out to even try to miss wrecks.
Yeah, and I've been hearing talk that it's... Yeah, and I've been hearing talks that it had something to do with how the master cylinder was working. Master cylinder new this year for this next-gen car was not in the Gen 6 car. That's because they have transaxle to power the rear wheels now. With the 5-gear transmission, it is now a transaxle. Julio Villalobos giving a penalty here.
Oh, no. Villalobos giving a penalty. Well, I guess
they're saying the first two cars involved in a wreck. That's how the Outlaws Sim Series does it.
That's fair.
They're saying that the 45 and 71 contact was what ended up turning the 71 car, and the 45 gets a penalty.
And now I know the race controller, and I mean, we're great friends. We'll talk about it later anyway. But I mean, yes, they were the first two cars to make contact. I just don't think those were the first two cars that caused the accident. But I mean, we'll see. At this point, I think there's just so many wrecked out vehicles. I think the open vehicles that are left running are gonna make the show.
Oh yeah, and I know that 66 probably did not want to see the 45 go. Those two working so well together. But now that leaves Jacob Zala involved in an earlier incident. He's now sitting as the second car on the inside lane as we go back green here at Daytona.
Two laps to settle the Daytona duel. Jacob Zala, Joshua Fox, the top two open vehicles at the front of this pack. Doug Solms and Tyler Markle duking it out for third.
Tyler Markle, we just saw missed that last wreck. Now he's being pushed by Greg Holt to try and get this win here. Tyler Markle gets the bump from Greg Holt as they come with 2 to go. That's the final lap. White flag. It's time to go. The 42, big bump from the 3 car. He gets him to the point. He dives to the inside.
The white flag presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Jacob Zala did not get to the bumper. Joshua Fox and Tyler Markle goes to the point in the second Daytona duel. He goes up to block Holt. The push. Now to 66 on the inside. Markle, is he going to block? He's not going to get there in time, is he? Into the corner. No, he's still being pushed by the 3. Now he goes out to the bottom to block. Tyler Markle trying to block both lanes. Now Holt. Contact. Neck-coated contact. It's going to wreck the field into the line. Tyler Markle is going to win duel number 2 here at Daytona.
And Josh Fox and the 3 car get together at the line. The 3 car ends up coming home in second. Josh Fox in third. Jacob Zala fourth. But Tyler Markle, the guy we saw come to a stop to avoid that last wreck, brings it home, does the strategy of just waiting out the wrecks, and gets the win.
There it is. Tyler Markle with the victory in heat number 2. And, well, that's going to do it for the duels. We'll get some interviews going here before too long. But, yeah, what an event tonight. two insane duels, big accidents throughout the night, and that's the racing we got. Two crazy finishes.
Yeah, two finishes that it came down to a, I mean, green white checker. With the amount of only two really big wrecks in both duels, but just happened at the right time to make it really exciting at the end. And man, what a masterful drive from the 42 machine to get that win after how he avoided the wreck before. And big pushing there from the 3 car. Hats off to the defending champion Greg Holt for that push to get Tyler Markle the win.
Right on, and we're going to try to talk to a few drivers here. First, we want to talk to the duel winners. I guess we'll talk to Tyler since it's fresh, and we'll catch up with Joseph Causey. But we'll bring him on up. Duel 2 race winner, Tyler Markle. Tyler getting it done. We just saw you before that caution come to a complete stop, miss that wreck that's happening right in front of you to go on and win the thing. Talk about first, I guess, the wreck avoidance.
In both wrecks today, in the duels, I was actually lucky on the first one I wasn't involved, and I guess just smart to stop on that second one. But I wasn't sure if I was going to even move out on that last restart, and then I was like, why not? So it was Greg coming up. I know he could push, so that was fun.
And so on that final lap, you're getting shoved by Greg Holt. You got your teammates behind, your teammate leading the inside lane, Joshua Fogg, Jacob Zella, some of on the inside lane trying to push him. Did you know you were even going to get clear around it and to the point of that on that final lap, or was it just hoping?
When I had that push from Greg, it was huge, and we easily got around him somehow.
And then the back straightaway, how do you choose which line to block? What's going through your mind? What were you thinking on what you were blocking?
I was going to say with Fox, but when you saw Greg come, I'm like, okay, I'll block it. And I think that's what wanted there, luckily.
And then there was a big net-coded crash and everything. But with all that being said, you're going to start 4th next Wednesday night in the Daytona season opener, 150 laps. How about you? Plan to stay up there? What are you feeling?
I'm gonna drop back. there's no saying that.
Fair enough.
We're doing a 3-lap feature race here. Here we go.
Yeah, that's kind of how this lobby had to be set up here. We're not going to show all that, but nonetheless, congratulations on the duel victory, starting 4th in the Daytona season opener next Wednesday night. Tyler, if you got to shout out anyone, go ahead and shout them out.
My channel like normal and Crazylays, and then thank you guys for broadcasting always, and then friends and family like normal, and thank you for Pit Stop TV for hosting it, the broadcast.
Absolutely, and that's Tyler Markle again, dual race winner, the winner of duel number 2. There you go, Devin. We're gonna have you standing by with our duel 1 race winner, Joseph Causey.
Hey, Mr. Causey, this is Devin in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, you come home the stage 1 winner here. Man, you dominated that entire race, got up front from pretty much lap 1 and led the whole thing. Was that the plan from the get-go?
I guess it wasn't exactly how I thought it would go, but it went that way, and when I stayed out front, I just was like, oh, I guess I'm here. I might as well stay.
Well, that seems to be the name of the game for most of the duels, especially that first one. Out front seemed to be the place to be. However, Tyler Markle proved that you could do it from the back in the second duel. Is there any strategy to both, and kind of what is your strategy? Maybe a little hint of what we might see from you in the actual Daytona race here, coming up next week.
I'll play it by ear. I don't want to get taken out right away and have to, miss, a big portion of this race. You got to make it to the end. That's the biggest part of it. The closer we can make it to the end, the better. We playing for points. We want to freaking make it to the end and not miss out.
Yeah, that's the old adage. to finish first, you must first finish. So, uh,
Exactly.
yeah, it's something that a lot of drivers will be talking about, I'm sure, for the weeks. To figure out where they want to position their car. As far as the qualifying goes, you're starting in the third place position. You have teammates around you. Does that give any comfort knowing that you do have those teammates there to kind of help out with whatever your strategy is?
Yeah, it helped out a lot. You've seen it in the first race when timed the start perfectly, and get there out in front and keep him on the bottom, and then we just took off and we just wrapped the bottom and kept the lead.
Yeah, that seems to be the name of the game, especially at these place tracks. The more friends you have, the more teammates you have around you, the better off you're going to be working as a team pretty much until the last lap. But, that was just the buy-in race, so I understand the not really wanting to go for the win, wanting just to be able to lock yourself in the feature for the 31 machine there. But we'll go ahead and give you the floor here. Shout out whoever you got to shout out. Thank you, whoever you got to thank. The floor is yours.
Thank everybody part of Performance in Sport, man. Freaking, we're practicing earlier today. We had to make we had to make a few changes to what we had during the clash, and it went the right way, big time. Thank you to the broadcast. Thank Adam, freaking putting on the show. Y'all put on amazing broadcasts every time, so definitely gotta go back and watch this one.
It was wild for sure, and we appreciate that greatly. We'll go ahead and let you get back down. The 3-lap feature looks to be over, but go ahead and enjoy the win. We'll see you back here next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
And that was driver of the number 88, Joseph Kazi, winner of dual race number 1. Now we're going to go inverse order. We're going to talk to the highest finishing open vehicle. Also, really the second place finisher in each duel, so it kind of works out. But we're going to go ahead and bring on now second place finisher of dual race number 1. And the first time we get to talk to this driver of the number 05, scores a 31 tonight. But Rob Pendleton, you come into tonight's race as an open car, needing to qualify in. You put a pretty good qualifying time. Not exactly sure if that locked you in, but nonetheless, you did get it done in the dual race, finishing as the highest open vehicle. Talk about that dual race, getting linked up with Joseph Kazi, and then just kind of going at it for 33 laps when it was all said and done.
Yeah, when we started out, I mean, we didn't really have a plan except just to ride. And then I forget who was up there, but he pulled out a line and went to the back, and I just pulled up next to Kazi and just kept going. So we worked it like that.
Fair enough. Through all that time, you had a lot of there's quite a few yellows in that dual race, but you continue to get lined up with Joseph. He kind of chose the outside. Was that always going to be the case? I think you were down that Discord, so maybe unofficially, officially part of Performance Sim Sport. And then how did all your plans really come to fruition from your point of view?
It worked out perfectly, actually. I mean, we kind of just every restart, we were talking and saying, like I told him, just go on the outside and then I'll let you down, whatever happens. And it worked out perfectly every time. So.
Fair enough. So the way it's set up now, you should be starting 5th next Wednesday night. You'll be starting behind your teammate Joseph Kazi. Is the game plan to, then stay up there, try to get that inside lane rolling, or are you going to drop to the back? What's your game plan? 150 laps next Wednesday night, but you start 5th.
Yep, we'll be right behind him. I'm sure we're going to do the same thing and just, ride it out, try to stay up front, avoid the wrecks and stuff. We're both pretty good at pit stops, so hopefully we can get some green flags and get out farther. So.
Well, fair enough. Congratulations as placing the the highest the highest open car in the duels tonight, finishing second in duel race number 1. Pretty tough thing to do at Daytona to control your own destiny, and you did a great job at it. Best luck to you next Wednesday night in the season opener. And if you got to shout out, if you have to shout out anyone, now's your chance.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'd like to thank all my supporters and all my viewers over at Rob Pendleton Racing and Facebook. The team, I mean, everybody helping working to put the car together and everything, and then you guys in the league. So everything, couldn't do it without everybody doing everything.
Right on. well, driver of the number 05. Hopefully the scoring all works out where you're actually that next week. But nonetheless, congratulations, Rob, finishing second in the duel, qualifying your way into next week's race, and best luck to you then.
Appreciate it, guys.
That was driver of the number 05, or driver number 31 tonight, Rob Pendleton. And Devin, you're going to be standing by with the other highest placed open car who also finished second in their duel, driver number 66 in duel number 2, Joshua Land Fox. Devin?
Hey, Josh Fox, this is Devin in the booth. Do you have a copy?
10-4.
Hey, man, that was an exciting duel, too. You're able to bring it home as the top car that was not chartered. You're locked into the next week's race at Daytona. Just kind of give us off the top, how you're feeling.
Yeah, I mean, car felt good for the most part. Better, made some adjustments on it there before the race started and late in practice, and made it so it was a little tighter off all exits, both 2 and 4. But mainly we wanted to make that outside work, and that's exactly what we did. And somehow during the race we made it work and got to the front.
Yeah, I was going to mention that the pushing from the 45 machine of Julio Villalobos, man, that was just a masterclass on how to get it done on the outside lane. You two worked together so well. He ends up getting a penalty. Did that kind of, derail your chances, you think, of maybe getting the win there? Were you kind of hoping that you and Julio could have worked together at the end of that race?
Yeah, I mean, he did a heck of a job pushing me throughout most of that race, and he knew when I was going to side draft and when I wasn't, so he was hitting the lines perfect. But yeah, it kind of messed me up there at the end when he got that penalty, because I was planning on taking the outside and dropping down in front of him, and battle it up between him and I. But no, the car felt good though. I'm happy with what it is, and next week I think we'll be running up front.
Sounds good. That was actually going to be my next question was what do you think the safest place is going to be for next week's race? It sounds like you're going to be up front. Is it just that you see the amount of cautions in that kind of that middle of the field is kind of straying you away from being maybe playing it safe at the back, or what's your thinking with that?
Yeah, I think riding up front for the first 20 laps maybe, and see how the cars are and everyone during the race, and see how many cautions come out or whatnot. If it's a bunch of cautions, I'm gonna stay up front. If it gets dicey and we're not wrecking, I'll drop to the back, and no problem.
Well, it sounds good. It looks like you have your dark horse. Was it dark horse teammate there? Tyler Markle gets the win,
Yep.
and you're going to be right with him, right behind him when we start the race. So you'll have buddies around you to help you out. But man, yeah, the dark horse guys worked together well last season. Hopefully that continues this season.
Yes, sir.
And before we let you go, we'll go ahead and give you the floor. Shout out whoever you got to shout out, and thank whoever you have to thank.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that runs the show here. Shout out to you and Emerson for doing the broadcast, and Adam for running it, and shout out to Dark Horse Racing and everybody watching. Congratulations on Tyler for the win, and Joseph for the other win.
Yeah, we would greatly appreciate the shout out there. Thank you again. An excellent race. Congratulations on getting locked in. We look forward to seeing big things from you next week.
Thank you.
And that was driver of the number 66, Joshua Land Fox. And tonight it's going to be a little different because of how everything played out. But I do want to see if we can try to give you at least a starting lineup for next week's race. We're going to try to do this here. See if I can get it for you going. We do know for sure, obviously, Jonathan Jennings should be the pole sitter for Jonathan Jennings should be the pole sitter for next week's race, and James Gilliard should be second in next week's race. But from then on, let's see if we can get it here. So then it should be Joseph Kazi starting in third, Tyler Markle starting fourth, Rob Pendleton should be starting fifth. It actually got scored as Greg Holt starting sixth. Because I guess Fox fell back to eighth, or fell back to third behind Greg Holt in the duel. So let's recap. So row number 1 next week will be Jonathan Jennings and James Gilliard. Row number 2, it'll be Joseph Kazi and Tyler Markle. Row number 3, it'll be Rob Pendleton and Greg Holt. Row number 4, it'll be Seth Berger and Joshua Lane Fox. Row number 5 next week, it'll be Andrew Schroeder and Jacob Zales. Devin, if you can see that, let's go to the next 10.
Yeah, then the next row will be Max Service, Doug Solms on his outside. Good run from Doug Solms tonight. Andrew St. Cour will be the next guy in line in row 7. Jeremiah Stutzman to his outside. Row 8 will see Nathan Aldridge and Julio Villalobos. Row 9, Scott Bailey and John Mickey. And then row 10, Farron Elam Jr. and Joseph Fogg.
Then next up in row number 11, it should be Devin Smith, Kevin Thompson. Behind them will be Derek McMurtry and Matthew Setzer. In row 13, it should be Adam Gardner and Andrew Pratt. Row 14 next week should be Jacob Reeves and Jason Miz. Row 15 should be Adrian Schumacher and Garrett Velzy. Devin?
Yep, then Jeremy C. Poole, even though he had some troubles, looks like he should be in there with Joshua Gathright to his outside. Kyle Lingerfelt will make up the next row with Jesse Adams. Eric Peck and Matt Rogers will take the next row. Jonathan Jennings and Seth Fitzpatrick, the row after them. Scott Williams, who had a pretty awful night with that first incident in duel number 1, and James Gilliard. James Gilliard's going to be up at the front. But, yeah, Scott Williams, and then I believe it's going to be Randall Barnett will be the next row.
Yeah, so it's actually unfortunate. Jonathan Jennings and James Gilliard, the two, poles in tonight's duels, the two drivers who qualify first and second for next week's race, both finished towards the back of their packs. So kind of got a little looped up there. But yeah, Jennings and Gilliard should be at the front, and then back there should be, I guess, Scott Williams and Seth Fitzpatrick, and then Randall Barnett back there as well. The whole back of the field, we'll get it all, of course, the real starting lineup for you next Wednesday night. You will get it, of course, on the broadcast at that point as well. But before then, we still have to wrap things up here tonight, Devin, and what it was a phenomenal show. And we look back at it. Upcoming here on the channel at Pit Stop TV, we still got a lot of racing to go. Tomorrow afternoon here in the States, tomorrow night over in the UK, British sim racers are back in action. They're with their British sim racing touring cars. The GT4 is taking to the Silverstone circuit tomorrow afternoon here in the States, tomorrow night out in the UK. Next Tuesday night, we'll be back in action with the double headers. BSR, the British sim racers back in action. Still over across the pond at Brands Hatch with the Miatas Trophy Tuesdays with their 8th round of the season going on at Brands Hatch. I believe actually it should be their 9th round, actually. But anyway, the Miatas taking to Brands Hatch next Tuesday afternoon, or Tuesday night over there across the pond. And then next Tuesday night, the North American Racing League is back in action with their Porsche Cup. They'll be taking to the Hockenheim Ring for their season opener next Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So, Devin, a lot of road racing, a lot of sports cars going on. We got GT4s, Miatas, and GT3s. Porsche GT3s on Tuesday. Whole span of sports car racing before we're back in action 1 week from tonight at the Daytona International Speedway for the season opener of the Outlaws Sim Series NextGen season. Devin, what a lineup we got.
Yeah, what a lineup indeed. The British sim racers, all of those series are very fun to watch. Be sure to catch them. I know it's a little bit early here in the States, at 3 o'clock Eastern time start time, 12 o'clock over on the West Coast. But they are definitely worth watching, even if you have to watch the replay on YouTube, which they are stored. It is definitely worth the view. They provide for a very entertaining race, a very entertaining format as well for the British sim racers. The North American League, again, some ample GT3 Porsche racing. These guys lay it on the line every single week. They're on the tracks. Be sure to catch them next Tuesday night here on the East Coast at 8:30. And yeah, you can catch all of that on our social media channels, facebook.com /pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, instagram.com /pit_stop_tv, and of course in YouTube /pitstoptv1. And you can also catch us on Twitch. That's twitch.com /pitstoptv.
Yep, twitch.tv /pit_stop_TV there. And yeah, we got to give a quick shout out to all of our partners here. Pit Stop TV, quick shout out to Tucson Sound Art, Permanent Makeup and Crown Main, Whiplash Media, and BAM Racing Videos, of course. Whiplash Sim Cams bring you the beautiful shots we had all night tonight across tonight's dual races. And yeah, I guess with that being said, that's going to do it here from Daytona for us here of the Outlaws Sim Series. Thank you all for tuning in and watching tonight's broadcast. We hope you enjoyed tonight's action. For all at Pit Stop TV, Devin Zimmerman joining me on the call this evening. Myself, Emerson Arden. We will see you either tomorrow for the British Sim Races Towing Cars doing battle at Silverstone, or next Wednesday night. We'll be right back here for the Outlaws Sim Series season opener. Till then, you'll stay safe and you'll have a good night.